Hi, in this session, we explain our project. The team is Eric Ivan, Marco Antonio, Germán Vázquez, and me, Roberto Martinez. And our project is talking about the premia, trajectories, capitals, and ring, and how these subjects are a simulation of collective risk. So, at first glance, in a game time, you only win when you get the same number by throwing three dice. As players pay a share and run the danger of losing money each time they roll two three dice. This game may initially appear to be gambling, but it's crucial to assess if it qualifies as an insurance plan. There is typically a formal contract between the insurer and the insured. It's an insurance system in return for the insurer assuming that financial risks connect with a unpredictable event. The insurance pays an insurance premium. Additionally, in an insurance plan, the premium amount is calculated to cover predicted losses and administrative costs based on an actual estimate of the risk. So there are certain significant similarities between the mentioned game and an insurance plan, according to our analysis.
Well, once the introduction and some theory are explained, now we are going to pass with the calculations with Excel. First, to simulate this model, we use the geometric distribution. This is a mass function, and we do it to obtain the amount of money we will lose until the first three same numbers of the dice appear. And he have the accumulated mass function. We grab the mass function, and here we have the geometric mass function of this experiment, and then we will use the technique of the inverse transform to simulate the losses. That consists in generate a random number between 0 and 1, and this number is between 0 and the probability of the accumulated that gives us 0, the loss will be 0. If the number is between the distribution function in 0 and the distribution function in 1, the loss will be 1, and that will keep going until n loss, really. And with that, we use the buscar function to search for this number in the mass function, and then we obtain the how much the loss is. Now we use the weak law of large number, that is the same of the Monte Carlo simulation technique, that says us that if we have a lot of simulations, the number will not get too away from the real mean of the of the distribution. So we have different techniques to obtain the expectation. That is the premium, the average that a participant has to pay to play the game, or in the case of the insurance, is the amount of premium you have to the minimum amount of premium you have to charge to the client. And now to obtain it, we can use the sum product of the excess with the max function. We can also divide the probability of loss divided by the probability of success. Also obtain the average of the loss, sum product of the distribution, and the sum of the survival function. Then we can graph our simulation, and here we obtain the distribution of the simulation, and we graph it, and we can see that it's really very similar to the geometric distribution we obtained at first. Now my partner Herman is going to explain the Weld Markov process.
Markov chain. The use of Markov chain allows for the analysis of the evolution of well over time and the calculate or probabilities estimate of expected values and other analysis to better understand the behavior or risk associated with the system of premium and claims. Well, The evolution of wealth can be described as a market chain when a WK represents the wealth in period K. It, each period premium APR received and amounts are paying for losses in K. In this case, the evaluate of wealth can be expressed as follows: W0 equals W initial value of wealth in period 0. WK plus 1 equal K multiply, no, W multiply K plus P minus N multiply K for K equal 1, 2, and consecutive. This way of defining the evolution of well is combined because it's allowed us to describe in terms of its values in the past period and independent random variables. When we can do this, we are working with market change.
Well, as my partner Eric Ivan said, here we have the wealth process of the markup change. The, or in other words, we can say the evolution of the wealth of the enterprise or the insurance company. For the insurance company always is going to need a wealth, a initial wealth that can assure the insurance, the contract between the client and the insurance company. But for this wealth, we charge a premium of 35 for the risk, right? A 35, as we already said on previous slices for Marco Trejo and my partners, it is the minimum or the bare premium that we need for us to have a, a better opportunity for to not go to ruin. And the probability of ruin is going to be, we are going to be getting it by the average uh, of all these iterations that we make. All these iterations are, well, on our case, we made a number of 943,107 iterations of this game, of this gamble of the person betting 1 peso on the three dices, right? This person is going to throw the dice times. So we have here the 10 throws of the person, and each row, it is an experiment, right? An expectation of the possible outcome of the total experiment. So here we replace the 230 of our initial wealth, and then we add up the premium that we are charging, to the clients, and then we look and generate a random number, random number that we are going to search on the distribution function for the geometric random variable that we saw on the previous Excel explained by Marco Trejo. So by doing that, we get a certain number. Here, for example, on the first experiment, we gain and go on, right? But then we have that if we have a premium of 35, if we increase this premium, this is going to be obviously a good thing for the enterprise, because if the probability of ruin is never going to to happen, because we are charging a lot. We can charge 10,000, and the probability of ruin right here, we can see that is going to become 0. Give that time on the laptop to process 0. As well as if we increase our wealth. Why? Because our wealth, if we have a lot of wealth, the experiments that we are done, the 10 experiments are not enough for us to go to ruin. So depending on our wealth and our premium that we are charging is going to depend the ruin, the probability of the ruin. But in this example is the purpose of this example is to get a premium that is fair for the client. And the most fair premium is obviously the lowest value possible in the graph, right? The 35 pesos. But for these 35 pesos, for the ruin probability to be lower than 5%, our wealth needs to be 230. That's a lot pesos, right? So if we decrease our wealth, this probability of ruin, the enterprise to ruin, is going to be greater, right? Or if we decrease, lower the premium than this, it is also going to increase the ruin probability. Here on our right, we have certain wealths and premium already calculated. We verify premium with a lot of wealths until we get a satisfying 5% of confidence value, right? Why 5%? Because of all these iterations that we said that were the 900,000, only 5% of those experiments fail. And the 95% of those experiments have a 0%, didn't go to ruin. But if we search here a 1, we can see that the experiments went to ruin. It is normally emphasized by this minus. The enterprise, the client bet, and in here uh, it went to ruin, right? Because we don't have the money here. Or in other example here, on this part in the E and F, or here until the end, it went to ruin the enterprise, the insurance company. So our purpose is to prevent this catastrophe for the insurance company, right? In bigger numbers, it is the same. We need to prevent for the insurance company when accepting a big proposal or a big insurance contract for it, if it is beneficial, or how much premium do I have to charge, or uh, how much wealth I have to have, right? Because maybe I have the wealth, but I don't want to give all the wealth. So I'm going to make different preparations, reaseguro, give other parts of the risk to other people, etc. No, there's plenty of methods to reduce the risks, and the premium that we are charging depends on the risk, obviously, and the wealth needed as well. So here, everyone choose how much risk to take, right? That's common sense for actuaries and most people, right? On bigger tasks is what we claimed before, that we need to choose the option where the prime is fair for the client. Here we have a 35, that's very fair, but we also need a certain profit for the insurance company. So it is maybe fair as well, a 50 of premium, and our wealth decreases a lot, right? A 120 wealth needed. Also, the risk is going to change. We have a little bit more of risk with this, but in this example, for example, in this 105 of premium, that's very unfair for the client, and we only need a 10%. On conclusion, we have that the evolution of the wealth as a markup chain is important in the insurance calculation because it allows for the probabilistic model and analyzing of associated risks. And by using this approach, it is possible to estimate the losses, the loss probabilities, and expected values of the wealth, and evaluate the impact of different scenarios on the vital and profitable of insurance. We know in future if this case is going to work for us, and if we need to reduce the risk or increase our funding, our income, or etc. Right? And finally, we have here a little meme of the Order 66 of Star Wars. Ejecutar Orden 66, decían. Los de riesgos lo tienen controlado, decían. And that's gonna be all for this presentation. Thanks a lot.